everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Soshtvi and today we are doing a week-long reading vlog. So for the very small amount of you who follow me regularly, I haven't done a video in a while because I've had a really busy work month, and the time that I was free, I was busy watching all the X-Men movies and all sorts of movies. I was busy rewatching them for Deadpool and Wolverine. So I really haven't had time to read. I've read like 2 books this month. However, this last week of July that we have, I have a lot of time because I have zero work this week. Monday to Friday, I'm entirely free. So I thought I would do this reading vlog and just dedicate this week to reading because I haven't read in a while. I've been wanting to read. I have some really good books on my radar. So I thought we'll just pick up a book. To start off the vlog, the book that I want to really read this week is A Man Called Ove, or Ove. I think it's Ove, that's what I hear most people saying. A Man Called Ove. It's by Frederick Bachman. I've read one other book by this author. It's called Anxious People, and I fell in love with that book. Like, that book is my everything. I recommend it to everyone, and everyone who's read it at my recommendation has loved it. Highly recommend. If you haven't gotten to it yet, please do. But ever since then, I've been really excited to check out his other books as well. I had got this book at the same time I purchased Anxious People, and I've been looking forward to reading it ever since. I have actually started reading this a little bit, as you can see by the tabbing here. I picked this up over the weekend. Today's a Monday, 27 July. So I picked this up over the weekend, read a little bit, but I haven't made a dent in it since then. I read 62 pages to be exact. So we have time now, so why not get to it? This will be the first book of the week. This will be the first book of the week, and hopefully we get to other books as well. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, so let's start reading. Okay, quick little update. I don't know what happened. It's been a couple of hours, more than a couple of hours. It's been a few hours. I don't know what happened. I read like 20 pages. 20 pages during the day. I had a headache. I have a problem with headaches, and it was a pretty bad one. So I took my medicine, took a little nap. I feel much better. Ordered my lunch. Ate my lunch. It was a shawarma, if you wanted to know. I started like cleaning my shelves, and then I got distracted on Instagram. I just don't know what happened, but I didn't read a page. It is currently 6 p.m. Read nothing. But I will make better effort now. Gonna get back to it. Picking this back up, so let's just get into it. For real this time. Okay, I've read a few more pages since we last spoke, but I just wanted to come and talk to you guys about what the book is about. The book is about this really old man who is really bitter. He's one of those men who, like, he's very bitter. He complains about everything. He has a problem with everyone, and he is currently trying to commit suicide. Yeah, he's trying to commit suicide, and every time he tries to attempt it, he fails at it. That's what the plot is about. So if you're interested in reading this and things like this could be triggering for you, be careful. Look into it a little bit before you pick up the book. It's written in a very whimsical manner. This is what I saw in Anxious People as well. His storytelling is very whimsical, and it's not about the thing that he's trying to do. It's not about the suicide per se. It's more about him and his life and what is leading him to do so. Still be careful around the book if that subject could be a little harmful for you to read about. So far, I'm pretty okay with it. I'm having a nice time. This man really reminds me of, if you've seen Up, the animated movie Up. The old man, the way he is, especially in the first half of the movie, is super grumpy, complaining about everything, doesn't smile anymore. Very similar vibes in here. And also reminds me of Forrest Gump. Like, the way the story is flowing is very similar to Forrest Gump. So that's where I'm at so far with the book. There are some really beautiful lines in the book that I'd like to read out. There's this part where he's talking about meeting his wife for the first time, and it says, He worked for the railways for 5 years. Then one morning he boarded a train and saw her for the first time. That was the first time he laughed since his father's death, and life was never again the same. People said Ove saw the world in black and white, but she was color, all the color he had. That was pretty cute. Then there's this little line which says, men are what they are because of what they do, not what they say, which is something I've always said. And then there's this little paragraph which is talking about how Ove sort of views the world and his perspectives on like basically just modernization and people and changing. Some of it I don't really have an opinion on or I don't agree with, but there's a couple of lines in here that I really like. He says, he felt one should not go through life as everything was exchangeable, as if loyalty was worthless, which I agree with. And then there's also this beautiful paragraph which says, this was a world where one became outdated before one's time was up. An entire country standing up and applauding the fact that no one was capable of doing anything properly anymore. The undeserved celebration of mediocrity. Little gems like this are thrown in here. So yeah, I'm having a decent time. Let's see how it progresses. Okay, good morning guys. Or should I say good afternoon, because it's like 1 p.m. right now. I've had a rough night and a rough morning. I got my period last night and I tend to have a really bad time with my periods personally. Like I can't even move out of bed when I get them. The pain is just insane. The fatigue is insane. So I didn't do much reading, and I also did not update you last night because of it about where I had reached in my reading journey for the week. And again, the morning was pretty rough too, so I didn't really start vlogging up until now. But I feel much better. I'm still in pain, but it's a lot better than before. So I thought I'd pick up the camera and just share with you about how the reading has been going. We haven't made a lot of progress. I'm just gonna let you know that, okay? The book that we were reading, A Man Called Ove, I'm on like page 92. It's going well. It's not like anything that's like absolutely moving me, but I am enjoying it. I'm having a good time. There is one thing that I want to talk to you guys about though in this book, and there's something I've noticed, I think, which is his general pattern of writing, which I really enjoy. He really shows you what the character is feeling without telling you this is what he's feeling. For example, we very early on learn that Ove lost his father when he was young, and like I said, we get glimpses of him as a teenager growing up. There's this really beautiful line where Ove is looking across his window at his neighbors. There's like an elderly man who lives there, and he sees that elderly man conversing with his grandchild. They both seem really close, and he says, the way the older man and the boy spoke in low voices with each other, as if they were sharing some great secret, it reminded him of something. Also, for some context, his dad owned a Saab. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but that's the car his dad used to own, which got passed down to him. Once we see it reminded him of something, then very next line is, that night he had his supper in the Saab. Which is just such a nice way of writing that he missed his dad. You know, he did not outright say he was missing his dad. And somehow writing it this way just made it so much more impactful. This is 3 sentences, and in 3 sentences, he's able to capture what it's like to reminisce and what it's like to miss someone you've lost and try to find connection with them after they've gone. It really moved me, and this is just one example. This is how he writes about a lot of things, the things that characters are experiencing. He won't outright tell you he's feeling dash, he's feeling angry, he's missing someone. He won't say things like that, but he'll use beautiful examples like this to illustrate what the character was feeling in the moment, which I just really enjoy. Anyway, we haven't really made much progress story-wise, that's where we're at. But I also felt like reading this other book. I read multiple books at a time, by the way, if you didn't know. There's this other book that I've been really wanting to get my hands on. I've been itching to read it, and I was like, you know what, let's just get to it. Let's just read it. I am reading 2 books at a time now. I picked up Nothing More to Tell by Karen M. McManus. Have been wanting to read this for a while, honestly. I didn't get far in this either. I think I got like 64 pages in, so it's not a lot. But I'm having a good time. It's about our main character, Bryn, and a couple other characters. Back when she was in middle school, one of her teachers had ended up dead, presumed murdered. There were 3 other kids, 3 of her classmates, who had found the body. And there was like this random dude who was blamed for the murder who disappeared. So the case never really went anywhere, and then Bryn moved away. Now Bryn is coming back. She has moved back to this town, and now Bryn has started working for a true crime show, and she wants to cover this case because she believes that what the police has concluded is not actually right. It's giving a good girl's guide to murder, I must say. So she's, I think, trying to investigate what really happened back then. As of now, we're jumping between her perspective and between the perspective of another boy who was one of the three who discovered the body. It is super fast paced. I'm really happy that we just really dive into the story from page one. Like there's no waiting, we're immediately in the story, things are happening. I'm enjoying how fast paced it is. So that's where we're at. So I'm gonna keep reading these at tandem and let's see how it goes. But first I'm gonna have some lunch because I haven't been able to eat anything properly. So I'm gonna have some lunch, maybe watch Modern Family, chill a little bit, and then we'll get to these books. Okay everyone, a little update time. I did get ahead in my books. I'm like 100 pages into both these books now and I'm enjoying them both, especially this one. Like I'm really enjoying this one. I'm really curious. I think I might finish this in a few hours. Depends. I mean, I'm also watching the Olympics and there's a lot that I want to watch today. We have the women's badminton doubles, India is in there, and then Argentina's football match, and then there's the gymnastics at night. But I'm reading my books while I'm watching as well. So we'll see how far I get into these. Besides the pain and the fatigue, I'm actually having a really good day with the books and the Olympics and all that. I had my little eating break. I'm happy now. I'm gonna get back to this one. Okay, you guys, it is the next day currently. It is Wednesday, 31st July. It is 5 p.m. My period has been kicking my ass, to be honest. It's not been a good morning. So I didn't really do anything. I was mostly crying in bed. So obviously did not read anything today. I did, however, finish reading this one yesterday. Finally finished all of it yesterday. Beyond this, I didn't read anything. So I just want to talk about this right now. It was a good book. Honestly, the last two books I've read by her have been okay. They haven't been bad, but they've been okay. Well, The Cousins, I did not enjoy. But Two Can Keep a Secret, I quite liked. It was nice. One of Us is Lying, obviously, I'm a huge fan of that trilogy. So I didn't really know what I should be expecting from this, but I actually ended up having quite a lot of fun. Like, this entire book was super fun, super engaging. You didn't want to keep it down. It wasn't anything drastically new or anything that's like that keeps your heart beating and that has your mind roller coasting, or like you're so emotionally invested in what's going to happen and you're trying to figure everything out. It's not really that kind of a story. It's more like a cozy, chill kind of a read, but you still have a lot of fun with it. You enjoy the characters and you are curious about the mystery. For once, I actually was not able to guess what the end would be. Like, I had my suspicions on two people and one of those people did end up being the murderer. It wasn't like I was fully like I had a theory about what exactly went down. I didn't really have anything in this book that way. So it was interesting not actually knowing what the end would turn out like. So it was nice to be stumped for once by this book. But yeah, like I said, it's nothing like, oh my god, this is so thrilling, it has me on the edge of my seat. It's not that kind of a book. As an overall rating, this would be like a 3.75 for me. It could have been a 4 as well, but there are a couple of things that did not make sense. Like a couple of things where some people's motivations were not very well explained, especially the main character. But apart from that, it was a fun read. I would definitely recommend if you want a mystery but you want it to be like cozy and chill, it's a rainy day, you want to cuddle up in bed and enjoy a good read, I would recommend. Now I'm gonna eat something and then I'm gonna continue reading A Man Called Ove. See you then. Okay, everyone. Hi. It's been a while. At least in real time. It's been like a second for you guys. I finished this book last week. Forgot to record how I felt about this and completely forgot that I was shooting this. Honestly, like just completely forgot about it. A book package of mine arrived today and I realized, oh my god, I was in the middle of a reading vlog. My bad. Happens to the best of us, right? Anyway, I thought I'd pick back up with the reading vlog today. I'd give you guys an update about how I found this book, what I thought of it, and start a new book as well. So, to start off with this, I really enjoyed it. I definitely think that it doesn't live up to Anxious People. Honestly, very few books will live up to that book. But I did have fun with it nevertheless. Even though this book is like less than 300 pages long, I still felt like this book was a little too lengthy. We just had a lot of different stories, which I'm guessing is a pattern with this author. He writes about a lot of different characters and a lot of different storylines. Sometimes we'll have a chapter which talks about a character or a certain thing about a character only once and never mentions it again, but wraps around in the end in some way. That's the way he writes his stories. But I just felt like there was just a lot of things that I was not very interested in, and it felt like it was slowing down the story and breaking up the pace of the story. I feel like a lot could have been cut from this book. It could have been a shorter story. Just because it was longer, it felt a lot more slower, and at some points I was getting bored. But the times that I wasn't getting bored, I was thoroughly enjoying myself. Like I said, this book did make me chuckle quite a lot. It made me think a lot. There were some lines in this book that were just so beautiful, so captivating. Certain character moments that were just beautiful. That ending, safe to say, I cried. I really did. I cried a lot actually, which I did not think I would in this book, but I guess that's just what Frederick Bachman does to you. But in also, like, he makes you cry in the best way possible. Like, you don't feel like you're sinking into a deep hole after reading his book. You know, like some books are sad and they make you feel like you'll never recover from this. That's not what this makes you feel. But yeah, it is pretty emotional. I'm gonna read a few lines from the book because I just have to. There's this little paragraph about death in the final chapter which really got to me. It says, death is a strange thing. People live their whole lives as if it does not exist, and yet it's often one of the greatest motivations for living. Some of us in time become so conscious of it that we live harder, more obstinately, with more fury. Some need its constant presence to even be aware of its antithesis. Others become so preoccupied with it that they go into the waiting room long before it has announced its arrival. We fear it, yet most of us fear more than anything that it may take someone other than ourselves. For the greatest fear of death is always that it will pass us by and leave us there alone. Something inside a man goes to pieces when he has to bury the only person who ever understood him. There is no time to heal that sort of wound. I don't know, I feel like the way he wrote that is just perfect. When a line like this, he misses her so much that sometimes he can't bear existing in his own body. Then it's his wife speaking to him. We can busy ourselves with living or with dying off. We have to move on. And that's how it was. Then this is about him and his wife. Ove had never been asked how he lived before he met her. But if anyone had asked him, he would have answered that he didn't. Just cute stuff. Lots of cute stuff in this book. I would recommend this. It's like a 4 out of 5 stars for me. Great book, great author, great translation also. It's written by Frederick Bachman, but it's been translated to English by Henning Koch. So yeah, I would highly recommend if you want something moving, something thoughtful, something emotional, reach for it. It's a pretty short book. It does feel lengthy at times because of how slow it gets. That's definitely something to consider. But apart from that, definitely should read it. I recommend. And the book I'm gonna pick up next is the book that actually arrived to my house today. It's a pre-order. It released last week, so it's really, really new. And it's by one of my favorite authors, Karen M. McManus, her new book, Such Charming Liars. This is her new release. I'm just gonna read the back of this to you to explain to you what the plot is about. For all of Kat's life, it's just been her and her mother. Except for when her mum was married for just 48 hours to a man with a child of his own, a son named Liam. The two families haven't spoken for the past 12 years. Now, Kat's mum is a jewel thief trying to go straight, and she has one last job, swiping a costly necklace at a billionaire's 80th birthday party weekend. And this time, Kat finds a way to make her mother bring her along. But there are other surprise guests. Liam and his father, now a serial scammer who has his own sights set on the billionaire's family. To get what they want, they'll all have to pretend not to know one another. When someone at the compound is shot dead, Kat and Liam realize they might be in the killer's crosshairs next. In this deadly game of lies, the only way to survive is to find the truth first. Sounds pretty interesting about a jewel thief and a scammer. I don't know why it's giving inheritance games for some reason. I think probably because of the billionaire vibe, I guess, and just the mystery aspect of it. It just sounded very unique. Again, I've never read a book with a plot like this. It sounds very interesting, very intriguing, and she always writes some really good books and very good characters. She writes really good characters. The first book that we read in this vlog was by her, so I'm expecting some really good reading out of this. I think I'm gonna read a little bit before we go to bed. So yeah, let's start with this one. It's the next day and I just want to give you an update of how the reading has been going. Again, haven't had time today at all. It's currently about to be 6 p.m. Haven't really had time today. I was busy working, and then I've also been watching the skateboarding heats at the Olympics. That's really fun. So yeah, haven't really had a lot of time to read today, but I did read last night. I think I got close to 100 pages. I read 81 pages last night. So I just wanted to give you an update of how this book is going. It's pretty casual right now. Not much is happening. We're mostly just getting background and setting a lot of context. Whatever I expected, it's definitely not giving that as of now. Like, I don't know what I expected. I expected a lot of like cunning and like suave mystery and like personality in the book, but I'm not really getting that right now. We just got to know a little bit about both Kat and Liam and who they are and their family backgrounds exactly. As of now, I don't know how to explain it. It feels pretty young right now. It almost feels like I'm reading a book for 14-year-olds right now, which it is young adult. But her other books haven't felt that young, at least so far, to me. But yeah, this is feeling a lot younger than the other books so far. Let's see once the mystery kicks in, because we're still a ways away from that. Once that happens, I'll update you guys about how this is going. But so far, pretty chill, honestly. We're very casual right now. Okay, I have a book update. I am now over 100 pages into the book, and nothing is still happening. Honestly, it feels like I'm reading a contemporary book instead of like a mystery book. Like, really nothing is happening. A shitload of nothing is happening. Usually, if I'm reading a YA book and characters make stupid mistakes, I don't hold it against them, because they're usually like 15, 16, 17. They will make stupid mistakes. It's fine. But the girl in this book really is making stupid mistakes. Like, I really just cannot with the things that she's doing and the things that she's done so far. It's a little too stupid, especially for her background. Her mom is like a jewel thief. She's grown up around jewel thieves. This kind of environment and this kind of a thing is familiar to her. And yet the things that she is doing are just so like she's acting like a noob, and it's irritating. Like, I just cannot figure out the personalities of these kids. Like, seriously, I don't understand. Like, they feel so empty. There's really no personality to them right now. So I don't know how I'm feeling about this book. I will keep reading, waiting for some mystery aspect to kick in, because there's really nothing right now. Okay, update time. I'm not very far from the ending. I think I have like 150 pages left, a little over 150 pages. Yeah, that's how far I've gotten into the book. I feel like the first 100 pages I was saying that nothing eventful was happening, and ever since then, so much shit has gone down. So much has happened. Like, oh my god, everything that could have happened has happened. One of the family members got murdered, and obviously we're trying to figure out why. And now someone is trying to kill cat and her mom as well. And while there is a lot that has happened and is still happening, I still don't feel very like involved in the story. I feel like I'm really watching it happen from the outside instead of being in the story. So I'm not like having a bad time, but I'm not like having a very thrilling time either. But I'm in for the ride, and let's see where the story goes. That's what I'm feeling right now. Today's plan is to finish this entire book. Honestly, I'm at a stage with this book where I really don't know how I feel about it. Like, do I like it? Do I not like it? No clue. I could not tell you. I feel like the twist or the end, the climax, is what's gonna make me understand whether I like this book or not. Let's continue reading and let's see how it goes. Okay, we're almost to the end. It did get a lot more interesting in this third act. Fairly predictable. I predicted everything that's happened so far, but there's still a little bit of the mystery that's left that I want an answer to. Yeah, I think we have like 30 pages, 40 pages left. Let's see how the rest of this goes, and then I'll let you know about my final thoughts. Okay, final update, you guys. I am done with the book. It was nice. I feel like the last 100 pages were a lot of fun. But apart from that, I think the book was quite okay. There are still 2 questions that I feel like were unanswered in the book. This is not a spoiler, but Kat, she was there when she saw the certain person who got murdered getting murdered. She saw the culprit, and the culprit said a certain thing to the man who got shot. And there was a lot of speculation about why he said that, because it indicated that they knew each other, but we didn't find that out in the end. Like, why did he say that to him? Because turns out they didn't know each other. Couple of questions left unanswered, but for the most part, everything was answered. The last twist I did not predict, but apart from that, everything was pretty predictable. And it was a very, again, not slow. It was a very chill read. I don't know, I feel pretty detached from the story. It wasn't a bad time reading this, and that's probably because it's very easy to fly by. It's really easy to flow through the pages in this one. Like, it's super fast paced and you get through it really quick. If I hadn't been busy with work, I probably would have finished this like in one sitting. But I don't think it's anything grand. I think it was just okay. So with that, we come to the end of the reading vlog. We read 3 books in this reading vlog, which went on a lot longer than a week. We started with Nothing More to Tell by Kaale McManus. I enjoyed it. I would recommend. Then we went to A Man Called Oaf by Frederick Bachman. Again, really good. I would recommend. And then finally, Such Charming Liars by Kaale McManus again. And this one, I think you can skip, or I don't know, it doesn't need to be a priority at least. So with that, we come to the end of the video. Let me know what you thought of this. My first time doing a reading vlog like this, which is not dedicated to a specific book. So let me know what you thought of it, and follow me on Instagram, like, share, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.